Hey brother, Ben, I've always been really impressed by some of the vloggers we watch, like John and Hank Green, Zay Frank, Declarations, Mike Falzone, Food of a Fair. They're really good at putting a lot of information in a very tiny space. Like I finished watching their videos, I'm like, oh my god, those 4 minutes, they told me so many things. That's really cool. How did they do that? Probably because they do a lot of research and they're able to force feed you all that information without straying off topic like I tend to do. But maybe it's just because they can talk really fast, kind of like what I'm doing right now. It turns out that most people read at about the same speed at which they talk. Unfortunately, I don't talk this fast all the time. And more unfortunately, I can't get all the information I need from those people who are really talented at giving me information in a small amount of time. I do have to read a lot of the information I get, so I am not the world's fastest reader, which is why I was really excited to find out today that there was like a new way to read, which is like mind-blowing to me. Like, how have we not figured out new ways to read yet? Oh, it's just reading in lines, right? Wrong. Instead of reading in lines, what you do is read a single word force-fed to you in the order in which they're written and like rapid fire. And if you don't believe me, I'm talking about 50 seconds right now. I'm going to show you this technique using everything I just said. Ready, go! Boom! 17 seconds, Ben. Were you able to keep up? It probably helps that you just heard me say everything right beforehand, but that was 1,000 words per minute, and I'm betting you were able to keep up better than expected, despite the insane speed of those words coming at you. Now, if you did have trouble reading that, the website I used to do that is called Spreeder.com. I will leave a link down in the description below. Basically, what it allows you to do is copy and paste large blocks of text and then choose which speed you read them at in that fashion. I recommend between like 300 to 600 to start out, but it is surprising how fast you pick it up and how easy it is to do. I'm just fascinated by it. I've been playing with it all day. I read like the entire plot summary of the first Game of Thrones in like a minute. So why does this work though? Well, when you read, your mind does this thing called subvocalization, where your speaking voice reads the words in your head similar to how you might say them out loud. But like I said earlier, most people only speak at about 200 words per minute, which means that they only read at about 200 words per minute. But your brain can process things way faster than your mouth can. Go figure. So by speeding up how the words are presented to you, you silence that subvocalization because your mouth simply can't keep up with your brain. In fact, you might even be comprehending things better this way. And then of course the other half of it is literally the space it takes to read. Like, I could probably wallpaper this entire set with all the pages in this book, and that's a lot of space for my eyes to cover. By keeping the word in a single place, you save yourself a lot of like reading back and forth and turning the page time and just any other distraction you might have while reading. That being said though, if you read an entire book this way, which is something I totally want to try now, I feel like you would lose a lot of the intimacy of reading that book. Like when I read a book, I like to like make notes in the margin, I like to reread passages, think about what I just read, sip on some coffee, blink. That's a good option. I do see this being really helpful for reading things like news articles or textbooks or emails even. Like, I can see those little wrist phone dumb looking things being way more viable if you could read an entire email in this fashion. And kids, gosh man, can you imagine if you were like taught to read like this in school? Like how much more information you could take in as a kid, how much an entire generation of kids could take in. Like, that seems really powerful and really cool to me. So Ben, my question for you and everybody else is, would you like to read a book like this or just read like this in general? Please discuss down in the towel section below. And even if you don't leave a comment, please go just play with this on Spreeder.com. It is so much fun. I mean, it's probably the most fun I've had reading since I discovered audiobooks. That's it for me, Ben. I will see you in another life, brother.